A silent revolution is happening. Day by day, more and more people submit to joining a new and growing movement, manipulated by clever marketing and a full sense of added security. Paying more never felt so painless. Behind the scenes, the powers that be are winning, ruling over all and succeeding in establishing a once unthinkable new order. I am, of course, talking about Rolex, CPO and their ever-tightening grip on the sale of used stock. That, I suppose, is one thing that you get with CPO. They are in the position to really reject shitters. It's such a massive difference still between the CPO and the grey market there. In the UK, Watches of Switzerland Group were at 33% on average above the grey market, and yet the CPO is asking for one that is 5 years old, £11,995. It's happening and it's real. So are CPO prices coming down and ever closer to compete directly with grey dealers? The numbers never lie, so here they are. Welcome back, guys. Now, it was exactly 6 months ago that I received a very interesting email from Goldsmiths, who are part of the Watches of Switzerland Group. This email was a list of some of their latest Rolex certified pre-owned program watches that they have for sale, and it was entertaining for me as a grey market dealer to research them and compare the prices at the time to the grey dealer prices. So I've had one of those emails come in once again, 6 months on. Let's see where we are at. And the first one I want to start off with on that email is a Sky Dweller, which is a lovely 2020 piece on the Oyster bracelet. CPO price on this is $16,950, and having done some research on these, I can find many of them for under £13,500. The cheapest on Chrono 24 right now is $13,350, and of course with Chrono you can negotiate and you'll probably get that under 13 grand anyway. That means that the CPO premium is 27%, and expressed as a percentage, the saving compared with CPO is around 21%. So on first glance, those prices aren't really that much different to where they were 6 months ago. Steel sports watches we were seeing hovering around a 25%, 30% premium. So that's an interesting start there. Let's move on to the discontinued Milgauss, one of my favorite references of the modern Rolex catalog, with black dial. Now, of course, this watch has been discontinued, and it was really the Z Blue dial which was the more popular of all of the Milgausses, and therefore this black dial carried a smaller price tag on the secondary market. They have this available at £10,950, which is just far too much money, to be honest with you. Milgausses have never really been the most popular Rolexes, and now that they've been discontinued, it's really something that has just gone into the background and into the back of everybody's memories, and that's why prices have continued to fall since they were discontinued last year. At grey, you could find one of these for £9,000, but really, with a bit of negotiation and some research, you could pick these up at £8,500. So the CPO premium on that is 21.7%, and that represents a grey market saving against CPO of just under 18%. Next up, let's take a look at the ugly duckling that is the Yachtmaster 2. Now, finally, Rolex did away with this watch from the collection, a watch that never really made much sense. It does get a lot of hate on YouTube and other platforms, but quite understandably, it has a particularly useless complication that can time 10-minute increments, and I've never really known anybody to even be able to pull that off on their wrist as well, because it is one hefty watch, and therefore, ever since it was discontinued, it was expected that this watch would continue to fall in value. There was never really any bounce on the grey market when it was discontinued, as what typically happens with any stainless steel sports watches, that is. Now, Goldsmiths have this at CPO priced at an astronomical £17,950, and that is for a 2014 watch. This is 10 years old, guys, and you'd be paying over £17,000 £17,000 for it. Now let me tell you, a grey market dealer would happily sell you one of those for under £15,000, and I have actually found them as low as £12,500. So this is absolutely not the watch unless you are deluded to be going to your local authorized dealer to buy. So that is a CPO premium on that of an enormous 43.6% and a grey market saving of 30.4% on that one. Next up is the Deep Sea. Goldsmiths have this available for £15,950. This is, in my opinion, an underrated watch in the Rolex collection. It really is a man's Submariner. You can find these on the grey market as low as £10,200. So that is an enormous difference of £5,750. They're hanging around longer in inventories of grey market dealers, and therefore they'll be more than willing to give you a better deal on that watch than, say, for example, a GMT Master 2. So at the moment the CPO premium is 56.4%, and that represents a grey market saving of just over 36%. So again, a no-brainer on where you should go for that watch. Have those prices come much closer to grey market dealer prices in the last 6 months? Absolutely not. Let's get into something a little bit juicier. It is a GMT Master 2 that you can go to your authorized dealer and actually buy. The price of doing so, however, would be astronomical. Goldsmiths have this for sale at £16,450 for a 2015 reference. Yes, that isn't a Pepsi. It is just a Batman at over £16,000. A grey market dealer would happily sell you one of those for around £11,000. So that represents a CPO premium there of a whopping 49.5% and a grey market saving of just over 33%. You would be out of your mind to pay over £5,000 more going to CPO. How about a more modest 36mm Datejust then? Now, Datejusts are in more liquid supply. They always have been. If you put your name down for one of these to buy brand new, you shouldn't really be waiting that long for them, particularly if it's a two-tone model. But this one that we're looking at here is a beautiful Datejust from 2013, and they have this advertised at Goldsmiths for £8,950. On the grey market, I can find these at around £7,500. So not a big difference there, and I think this is something which is important to consider, that perhaps those lower ticket items, those watches under the £10,000 price point, you may only be paying £1,000, £1,500 more, and for many that's rational, and there's a moral rationalization to doing that. Yes, I'm paying more at the authorized dealer because I trust them, because I know it's going to be genuine, because I know it's going to have a history that's checked out, and also I get that extra warranty with Rolex. It only represents a premium of 19.3%, and at grey market you would only be saving 16.2%. So here's me, a grey market dealer, telling you for that particular watch it probably is better off you go to your authorized dealer. Next up, Goldsmiths have available a beautiful Yachtmaster 42 in white gold. This has long been a very underrated watch. I love it. I've always liked the Yachtmasters, and particularly anything on an Oyster Flex. On the grey market, because these were never one of the most popular ones, perhaps the rose gold was more popular than the larger 42mm white gold that we have here. They never really carried a massive premium on the grey market to begin with. This carries a ticket price of £25,950 at CPO, and I can find these on the grey market for well under £20,000. The cheapest one on Chrono24 is £19,500, but believe me, you'll be able to get a much better deal than that. A CPO premium of an enormous 33.1%. Let's get back to the more popular stainless steel sports watches then. again and look at the very famous Submariner date. This is the watch that most people, when they're starting out with Rolex, are looking to buy, and therefore I'm sure this will fly off the shelf at goldsmiths and their authorized dealer, despite the fact that it does sit considerably higher at CPO. This carries a ticket price of £13,850, and it is only a 2017 as well, so it's the older 40mm reference with the maxi case. At Grey, because this is old news and there's a newer watch out there that people want more, and Grey dealers are therefore more likely to buy and hold in inventory, you can find these under £9,000, guys, which represents a CPO premium of 53.9%. You'd have to be out of your mind to go and buy this from the authorized dealer, or perhaps ill-advised. Next up is an older reference, Datejust 2. This is a two-tone model. It is from 2015, so you would expect that it has been polished a million times and within an inch of its life. This particular one that goldsmiths have for sale doesn't look too bad, to be honest with you, but it carries a ticket price of a hefty £14,150, which is more than you'd be paying for a new modern reference Datejust in two-tone. For me, that just doesn't make sense. And really, guys, a two-tone Datejust you should be able to pick up now within a couple of months. If you play the game and schmooze your authorized dealer, you should be able to get one of these anyway. So it makes 0 sense whatsoever, and that is before I've even gone in to what price you could pick this watch up for on the grey market. A grey dealer could supply this to you for under, I think, £12,000, and that represents a difference of 17.9%. Let's take a look at a Sea Dweller, which is a 2007 reference that goldsmiths have available. This carries a price tag of £11,350, and I found these advertised on the grey market for as little as £8,400. The grey market saving, therefore, on that watch would be 26%. Next up, goldsmiths have available a 2019 Air King. Now, this is the older reference. Of course, it has been superseded by a newer watch, which is better in just about every way. This watch was always an ugly duckling. It never really sold well, even at the peak of the market, and therefore these can be found at under £5,000 on the secondary market. And let me tell you from experience, they are very difficult to sell, even at that low ticket price, for a men's 40mm steel sports watch. So what are goldsmiths asking for this, guys? Well, they believe that they can ignore the market and are asking £8,350 for that. A hefty percentage CPO premium of 51.8%. Let's turn our attention now to something slightly different, a solid gold Rolex. Now, for quite a while I have said, probably about 2 years to be honest, that solid gold is cold. On the grey market, it is difficult to sell a solid gold piece. They will hang around in inventory for much longer than, say, for example, a steel sports watch. And that means that you should be able to make a much bigger saving on the grey market buying one of these than buying them certainly at CPO, but even in most cases now than buying them even brand new at the authorized dealer. Yes, grey market prices are lower than brand new prices, so it makes in just about every way no sense whatsoever to buy this second hand from CPO, but of course goldsmiths are going to try that anyway. This particular one I'm looking at is a Day-Date 40, a 2019. They're advertising this at £44,950, and I could find this advertised by a grey market dealer for £38,550. So that is a difference of £6,400. And that represents a CPO premium of 16.6%. If you want something via your authorized dealer and you want that peace of mind, then put your name down for one of these brand new. You know, that price is not that much different to CPO anyway, so why would you do it? And finally, the one you've probably been waiting for, goldsmiths have available a Rolex Cosmograph Daytona Panda that you can walk in there and walk out with without any wait list or any faff or any schmoozing or arse licking. The price on this older reference Cosmograph Daytona, a 2017 example, is a hefty £28,850. You can find one of these right now for as little as £21,500 from a grey market dealer, which means there is a CPO premium over the grey market on this watch of 34.2%. It doesn't really make any sense at all to buy that watch through CPO, but believe me, it will sell and probably already has. Why is that? Well, frankly, because there'll be people out there that can't be bothered with the 5-year wait list on this and the several watches you have to buy to accumulate the spend history. So what are my findings then, having looked at those watches on the latest email I've got from Goldsmiths with their current CPO prices? Guys, there is almost no change whatsoever compared to 6 months ago. Now that came as a surprise to me, I've got to be honest. I did expect that CPO prices would creep slowly for sure, but I believe that they would creep towards the grey market. Why is that? I've explained it before, because I feel that this is an effort for Rolex to really take control of the grey market and to dictate prices. Let me know, guys, what your thoughts are down in the comments below. Please go check out VinnyFrancis.com, and I will see you in the next one.